We're back, Seven Rivers Racing here in KQEG TV, a couple of nights away from the third week out at the Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. They are chopping at the bit at the Toma Excalibur Speedway. Should announce that I was named their track announcer.
Yeah, congratulations.
About a week or so ago, so I'll be out there on Friday nights, and I'll be handing the reins over to hopefully somebody else doing street drags, which start tomorrow night, and at the Cooley Raceway go-kart track. So hopefully somebody can fill my big shoes and as I get ready to make the endeavor into the Excalibur Speedway. Dell's Motor Raceway, they're getting ready to get things underway. Got a big practice this weekend, and of course dirt track racing Friday nights at Mississippi Thunder. Our guest today is Shawn Pfaff, the 2010 Quick Trip NASCAR Late Model Points Champion. Currently sits fourth in points in the very early goings of this season, is your current dash leader. And before the break, we were talking, Shawn, about the double wide restarts and how it's so exciting for me to call and the fans to watch the chess match. And it's been very interesting for you as a driver as well. And we've got some video from week number 1 of how you chose the inside portion of the track. There's the cone. Now, right there, right when you came up on the cone, you knew you were going down low. And you can just see how you turn the wheel and just cranked it. You wanted it down low.
Well, if you watch even this last Saturday, now with 2 weeks into it, a lot of the drivers will hang up either the high side or low side and not show, basically that card's not going to show your hand until you get there as to what lane you're going to pick. And then as you start falling back in that lineup, it makes it harder to know who went high, who went low, and what lane then you're going to choose. Because sometimes whoever's in front of you, what lane they choose is going to change what lane you might have already picked to go.
Now, does it also come, as Al had asked you earlier, when you're talking about car setup, and a lot more cars, we were talking during the break, are starting to run the high side and pass people. When you're out there and you get forced into a lane you don't want to go into, do you know by that time that your car's not going to be able to handle the outside of row 3 or the inside of row 4?
Well, you usually do. I mean, you'll know beforehand earlier in the night, or sometimes as you're racing, the car will get better as you go, and you don't know it until you're out there. And if you get forced out, you'll figure out something with the car or start building your confidence to be able to stay out there.
As you see the video here, it was quite interesting to find that after that next restart, that Nick Clements had jumped up out in front and ran very, very nice that night. He is going to be one to watch this year in the 08. To the outside of Steve Carlson, of all people. And this is a position you're in right now where you've got 4 fast cars in front of you. Nick Clements feeling things out. Henderson had just came off a heat race win that night. And you were just kind of back there in 5th with nowhere to go with that much horsepower in front of you.
Yeah, we had a hard time that night. The car was actually bottoming out on the racetrack. And had I chose high there, I'd have been all right because we had a caution came out. But the guys that went to the outside did a really good job. I mean, you're talking Nick Clements coming up from the Sportsman last year into a late model, came right up to the outside of Steve Carlson and made it work. Mm-hmm. He ended up finishing. He finished 3rd. Right. And then post-race, had a minor technicality wrong with the car. I mean, it was a little thing, but it's a rule all of us got to follow, and it's just too bad for him that worked out that way. But
it was interesting to see that a youngster, first year out in the late models, of course he's ran Sportsman for many years, decided, okay, I'm gonna tuck the tail, and I don't care who Carlson's up there or not, he was gonna go. Yep. And that leads me into the next conversation. If you look at the batch of drivers we have this year, you've got the Michael Saunders, you've got the Nick Clements, Jess Tenner back again, Steve Owen, you've got another batch of late model drivers that are giving the 5/8 oval a chance. What do you think that does for that entire class? Does it intensify races because you don't know how some of these younger drivers are, or because of what you've seen so far and they're proving that they can go around that track without bumping or grinding, that it's going to make it more, maybe more challenging to win this year?
Well, it's definitely going to be more challenging because there is some of these drivers that are really starting to mature, and the ones that have, came into the class this year have made bigger steps than we thought they were going to right off the get-go. It still is going to take some time racing with them to figure out how they drive and their trust in you, and it'll still take some time to figure that out. But there's a good batch of guys coming up. I mean, you're pretty solid out there right now with the feeling with all of us guys that have been around for a while to race on the outside of these younger guys.
What do you have? You're always one that I know is in the running for best appearing car, best appearing crew. Sponsors for 2011, you're always loaded. I mean, your car looks so nice because you've got so many people that are helping support Shawn Pfaff Racing.
Yeah, we've been real fortunate to be able to keep all the sponsors that we've had. We've picked up a few new ones. Grizzlies Woodfire Grill here in La Crosse. We got Sundrop out of Toma, Budweiser, the Hair Artist in Sparta, and Sheila Zambarin. And it's great. And Durango Racing. I mean, our major sponsor on the car is Durango Racing out of Scott Rand out of Arlington, Texas, and it's nice to be able to have that support. You know, not only with the fans, but the sponsors and whatever, to come back out every year and have a good, nice-looking car and be able to compete up front.
Now, what does Cookie Monster have to do with all of this?
Where did you remember that from? We're not going to get into that in this segment here, but that was something that I think about 5-6 years ago my kids brought out, and like I said, I'm not going to go into the details on that. I like cookies.
Okay. I thought you liked cartoons or something.
Maybe he does a good Cookie Monster impression.
It's kind of like late at night and having a midnight snack. We'll put it that way.
Again, Shawn running fourth in points this year. Do you find early on running in fourth that you might be in a good spot because you know there are some, I mean, you were even talking tech as we were walking in to do the show today, and here it is a Monday, that it's still early on where you can tinker with and find out what's going on, because I know you're not happy with a fourth place finish again.
No, 2 weeks in a row getting fourth, we're not. And I know that there's things we can still do to the car, but we got to keep working. Todd Corish come out this year and is shown to be very strong. Jay is very strong. Steve will always be strong.
Right.
And we've got a couple of these younger guys that are coming up. Well, we're going to have to get to work here and get a good handle on our car. The car has been pretty good, you know, in qualifying and staying in the middle, but we got to get to the front. And we got some issues to work out with the car and get a little better handle on it.
Well, I think this is going to be probably, as long as I've been at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, one of the most interesting quick trip NASCAR late model seasons we're going to find. I mean, the points race last year was just phenomenal, going right down to the end. But watching how things are shaping out and then throwing in some of the younger drivers along with a name like Matt Henderson, you've got 7, 8, 9 that by the end of the year are all going to be in contention, and I can't wait to see how this thing shakes out. You'll be able to see the Quick Trip NASCAR late models coming up this Saturday night, along with the North Country Contractor Sportsman, the United Auto Supply Thunderstocks, the Bolden Construction Outlaws will be back out again. Hopefully, maybe we might see Shawn Pfaff out there one of these times this year. We'll let a little bit of the cat out of the bag, but that's all we're going to have. That'd be nice to have a Cookie Monster Crunch Outlaws car.
I think that was the car it was on, too.
And also, it's going to be pre-race kids rides. Make sure you bring your cameras and your video cameras, as the children will have a chance to go around the 5/8 mile oval. And the Clement Sausage Racers, straight from Miller Park, are going to be out this weekend. Can't wait to watch who's going to be racing in the sausages. LaCrosseSpeedway.com for more information. DellsRacewayPark.com. Open practice coming up here real quick. And ExcaliburSpeedway.com. First practice is the 13th. First race is the 20th. And also our friends a little ways away from us, MississippiThunder.com. Some great Friday night dirt track racing as well. Seven Rivers Racing with a YouTube.com right in front of it. And you can check out all the shows there. Also find us on Facebook. Shawn Pfaff, driver of the number 21 Quick Trip NASCAR Late Model. Thanks for joining us on the program, and good luck to you for the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot for having me.
We'll be back next week, folks. Excalibur Speedway gets ready to open up for the first time in 11 years. We're going to hear more about them next week. For Shawn Pfaff and Al Losi, I'm Dan Dyker. Thanks for joining us on the Seven Rivers Racing Show here on KQEG TV.